And so I just wanted to start with a few things. Just wanted to remind you guys that Super Saturday is coming up. It is a huge deal. So if you have one local, try and make it if you can. I mean, it's a really great way to spend just a couple hours out of your month. A few hours out of your month, because they do them like every few months. So it's not even once a month that you can catch one. So if you can, it would be really awesome if you could fit it into your schedule. I know ours locally is by Shippensburg, but if you are not close to the Shippensburg, Chambersburg, Pennsylvania area, they have them all over the place, all sorts, like pretty much every state in the United States. So there is one by you. I know it for sure. So if you can't find one, let me know. I will help you find one. Also wanted to just remind you guys too about, I posted this in the team page as far as like earning your dollars towards your Success Club trip. So if you are hitting Success Club 5 or Success Club 10, you are able to double the amount of money that you can earn for your trip. So you can earn up to $1,200, which goes towards your room, and the rooms are $1,200. So if you're getting the regular room and you're not upgrading to the $2,400 room, you could get your room completely paid for. Plus, they give you a $750 hotel bonus, like a little extra spending money to use at the hotel. So just another great reason to be hitting Success Club. So I want to say I actually had a couple more announcements, but I could not find my paper that I wrote them down on. So that's like the story of my life. I did a lot of rearranging. I went and got another bookshelf, and so I like tried to organize, but I think it made everything worse because now I don't know where anything is. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce Kaylee. She is a fairly new coach. She started September 21st, did you say? And went diamond within about 15 and a half weeks. I think it was like a little over 90 days. So she was kind of like on pretty fast track. I mean, that's pretty impressive, I think, to go diamond in 90 days. I think a lot of people will kind of reach for that goal, and some people are slow builders, and some do it quick, and some do it quick and then sit at a standstill, and that's okay too. Like, that's kind of where I am. So but it's all a process, and everybody's different, yet in a way there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So it's nice that we can kind of catch on to top coaches, watch their videos, get on their calls, learn a lot of things, and kind of do the same, but in our own way. So Kaylee is going to talk to us a little bit about how she got started in her business and a couple do's and don'ts when you're first starting your fit business. And Kayla, if you want to add anything else about yourself, that would be awesome too. I know you work for an insurance company, right?
I do.
Okay, I didn't want to get it wrong, but go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am 26 years old, and I work currently at an insurance company. It is not for me, so I've been there, let me see. I've worked at a daycare for 6 years. I worked at a bank for about 8 months, and then decided I still wasn't happy, so I went to an insurance company. Still wasn't happy. So you can see the pattern. I have always loved fitness, so I've always been like a gym rat. I've always gone to the gym. I've always been in shape. But I pretty much ate poorly and thought that, well, I can just go to the gym and burn calories and then eat a whole bunch of carbs and be okay. Not the way to do it. But so I'm going to back up a little bit. I actually signed up to be a coach a year ago, and I quit 2 months later. I was able to sell 2 challenge packs in like 3 days. It was crazy. Like, I went to work, said, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. Want to do this? And they were like, sure. But that's all it was selling, basically. My heart wasn't in it. I thought, okay, well, I'll just sell challenge packs and make commission and that'll be that. Well, it wasn't so easy. I wasn't willing to put the work into it. I thought that I was going to make a bunch of money right away, and when I didn't get a quick fix for income, then I quit. So then, let me see, about a little less than a year later, I decided that I was going to try it again. I was very, very financially stuck. I was working 3 jobs and was just not making money. And like I said, I had always loved fitness. So I thought, all right, let's give this another go, because I went to college. I wasn't one for college, hated it. And I just didn't want to go get a piece of paper to tell myself that I'm worthy and, that I'm good enough to be a fitness coach. So I thought, all right, I'll do this. Well, I signed up with my coach, Beth Bird, and she has been an absolute amazing upline. And I think that was what the difference was between last year and this year. The coach I was under last year just basically had the same mindset as me, was, oh, I'm just going to sell a challenge pack. I'm going to make $40 or $50 and that'll be that. And this year with Beth, she was willing to help me, willing to answer my questions. Plus, I really kind of made it like I had no other option. I had to make it work. So that's kind of a little bit about how I got started. And I also just kind of like really wanted to now help people rather than help myself. So that's one of my biggest things that worked for me, was I took myself out of the equation. And yes, don't get me wrong, I'm still very income driven to make this work, because I want to make this my full-time job. But you can't make income if you're not helping people. So I had to kind of reverse my thinking and think, all right, well, I need to take myself out of it and take my thinking and put it towards that person that I'm helping, because I'm not going to make any money if I'm not helping that person. So that's my biggest thing when kind of like everything shifted for me. So I'll just kind of tell you a little bit of like kind of what worked and what didn't to kind of move my business forward. I did go diamond pretty quickly. I ended up signing my cousin on my one leg and signed 2 of my other family members underneath her as discount coaches to make her emerald. And then I ended up signing my mom on my other leg and got 2 coaches and a customer for the volume to make her emerald. So that's kind of how I went diamond so quickly. And so that's, you can do it either way. It's all in preference. I am able to work my mom's account. So if you do have a spouse, I do seriously like sign them up right away, because it's going to be your easiest thing to help you advance your business. But another thing that really worked is I YouTubed like crazy. I would go to work all day, 8 hours, 9 hours a day, come home. I sometimes would even get lost in YouTube videos and I wouldn't even eat dinner. I know, embarrassing to say. Raina Odell is like my girl, and I would YouTube every video she had. I would YouTube every video Melanie Mitchell had. I wanted to know what the top coaches were doing to advance their businesses so that I could have an all-around knowledge to help myself advance my business. Because like I said, I was making this non-negotiable. I had no other option. So YouTube is going to be your best friend to just, even if you spend, 20, 30 minutes on YouTube just for one topic to learn something, one thing a day, it's going to be your best friend. Like I said, I stopped thinking about what I could get out of it and started thinking, okay, what is this person struggling with? How can I help? And once I shifted my mindset, it all changed. And my business started to advance. I started to get people that really needed the help. And I'm a helper anyway. I've always been that way. My friends come to me for advice. That's just who I am. So that kind of came naturally to me. So the other thing also was I am not a confident person either. So that was one of my struggles. I was really, I had a really hard time being vulnerable and putting myself out on social media. So Beth probably thought I was the most annoying coach because I would message her constantly during the day and be like, am I doing this right? I would send her posts and be like, does this sound okay? And I mean, she was great, but that's kind of how I wanted a coach that was going to answer those questions, and having a coach that answered those questions and was patient with me taught me that that's the kind of coach that I wanted to be. I wanted to have a team that no matter what I was doing during the day or, how busy I wanted to make time for my coaches. So they feel confident, so they feel comfortable asking me questions. And then in turn, they then will become that kind of coach as well for their teams. So I started a lot of personal development because I needed that confidence boost because I had none. So I read book after book after book. And embarrassing enough, I had like 5 books started and hadn't finished one. So my advice to you is when you start a book, just finish it, because I still have like 3 that I have not finished. So I'm kind of like a squirrel and I'm like all over the place. Personal development was like my best friend. My best confidence booster was I started 15 minutes every single day. That's just how I started my day. I would read or I would listen to podcasts or audiobooks in my car on the way to work. Yes, I only had like a 5-minute drive to work, but that 5 minutes helped me tremendously because I was in a very negative mindset. So any personal development you can get, do it. Another thing I noticed that really, really helped advance my business is when I started making goals. I never was a goal setter. I never thought that I needed to make goals. I was just going through the motions, going through life. Whatever happened, happened. I never wrote goals down. I always, hoped for things to happen, but never really put the work into it, never wrote it down on paper. Started to write my goals down. I got a goal board. I have it hanging on my wall in my office, and I actually took a picture of it, and I have it as the background on my computer. So anytime I open my computer, it's right there looking, staring me in the face, saying, this is what you need to do, and this is when you need to do it. I made those goals. I put a time on them, and surprisingly enough, I have actually met, I think, every one of my goals except for one. I think I had missed Success Club. I think I wanted to hit like Success Club 10 by like the 10th of the month or something, and I didn't hit it by the 10th, but I hit it the next week. So my weekly goal, it wasn't hit, and that's okay. But I still hit the goal and I wrote it down and I made it happen no matter what. So once I started writing the goals down, it was crazy how things shift, because you write it down and you put it in the air. And that's exactly what my personal development taught me, was you've got to put the good vibes out there and it will happen. You just have to work for it. So those are pretty much my things that did work. Some things that didn't work for me is I'm a huge overthinker. I overthink everything. Like I said, I think that goes back to the confidence that I had none. So that was what I needed to reverse, was I needed to be in the moment. Whatever I felt, I posted, because I would rewrite my posts probably 10 times. I would write it, I would delete the sentence. I would write it again, I'd delete the whole paragraph. It was just, I didn't feel comfortable posting it. Once I started to just post what I felt and be vulnerable and be real, is when I got like a huge outpour of support. And that's when I started getting people really to relate to me, and they would message me and be like, you are so inspirational and your posts are amazing. And I got people saying, oh, I needed to read that today. It was great. And so therefore, when I stopped overthinking, I got the positive feedback, which then boosted my confidence. So it was crazy, like circle that just kind of all came together once I stopped overthinking. What else? Let me see. Oh, I was a huge person. I posted about Beachbody, everything, when I first started. I will tell you, don't do that. It's the worst mistake you can make, because people, you've probably heard it 100 times, you don't want to sell to people, because people don't, I know how I feel when I get a message from somebody selling, a makeup or a skincare. I'm like, I don't want to be sold to. If you say, hey, this really works for breakouts, I'm more inclined to be like, oh, okay, rather than, hey, I'm a unique consultant, buy my makeup. I don't want to do that. You don't want to do that with Beachbody either. And I made that mistake. So if I can tell you anything, just post about your life. And I didn't think I had anything to post about, because I'm 26 years old. I live alone. I work a full-time job, and I don't really do anything else. And so I thought, well, I have nothing else to post. So that was a struggle for me. But once I stopped and just was, I'm just going to make my life a reality show on Facebook, on Instagram. And whatever I was doing that morning, I posted about. And it's now become fun to me to post and to come up with different posts. So that was one of my huge struggles at first, was the posting. But like I said, it goes along with the overthinking. Don't overthink what you're posting, because people are going to relate to what you're doing in your life. So stop with the posting about Shakeology every day, because I did that. You can post about your workouts, but kind of get creative with it. So those are kind of the things that, worked for me and what didn't work for me. But I think the biggest takeaway that I would hope that you would get is just to be the kind of coach that you would want to have. Just give the support to your customers, your challengers. Just be there for them no matter what. Even when you don't feel like it, be there. Because they're going to remember that. Even when you're tired, they're struggling. So you need to be there to help them. Do your personal development, even though you don't feel like it. I get up 3 hours early now to make sure that I have time for my cup of coffee and my personal development. And it's been huge for myself and my business. So I think those are what I have done and what's worked for me. And I hope that helps a little bit. Did you want me to say anything else?
No, that's awesome. I took a bunch of notes. And I like to stalk different people, because I don't scroll a lot on Facebook, or if I do, it's just for business purposes, trying to find people. But I will go through and like stalk some people on purpose. And I like to look at your stuff sometimes, you know, when I get a chance to go through, and it's like you said, it's kind of posting your life as a reality show on social media. And that's what people get attracted to. And that's how you find your target market. It's because particular people that are like you are attracted to you. And that's exactly like a way that you can kind of narrow it down. And yeah, it's, you know, staying away from the stuff that's silly and just being you and being real and being open and vulnerable. And I love how you said that it was kind of like you pushed yourself out the door and you were like, just do it already. And once you did it, people came to you, and that ended up giving you the confidence that you needed. So it was kind of like, I'm sure you've heard this in a personal development where they're like, you don't find motivation, you don't wait for motivation, you create it. Like, you have to get started first. So instead of being like, I'm gonna sit around and wait for motivation to do my workout, no, you get started, you push play, and 5 minutes into it, bam, there's your motivation. So kind of the same thing. So very awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Kaylee? Nobody? Cynthia, you're being quiet today.
Oh, there, I'm like, I'm trying to push on mute. I don't know what this thing's doing. But that was really good. I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm listening to National Wake Up Call all over again this morning. Right. I was like, I have bam, bam, bam. I listened to 4 like in a row this morning. I'm all caught up from, and then getting to listen to you. That's awesome. It tied right in. So I don't know if you guys have listened to the last like 3 or 4 National Wake Up Calls that like chimed right in with it. It's perfect.
I haven't. Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
I'm like, I got nothing. I normally have something to say or ask, and I got nothing. You got me.
You left her speechless.
That's pretty hard to do.
Well, I'm glad.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I know that you have a call at 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
So I won't keep you any longer. I really appreciate you guys getting on the call tonight. Thanks so much. Thank you for showing support and love for Kaylee and also Team Commit to Fit. I'm glad you guys could be here with us. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to message me. I know Kaylee's very open as well. If you get off this call and something pops in your head and you want to ask her, I'm sure she'd be more than welcome to answer your questions. I'll post the recording in the team page. If anybody else that's not Team Commit to Fit is interested, it will be on my YouTube page by tomorrow. I don't promise to always put them up the night of, but I will put it up on my YouTube page by tomorrow. So, and don't forget, there's a Dream Team call at 9 o'clock. If you guys are interested and you have time tonight and you want to hop on that, if you're not in the Dream Team page, message me and I can send you the link or add you to the Dream Team page. But thanks again, Kayla. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
You guys have a good night.